Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. Hope your day is off to a great start. In today's video, I want to share a fairly substantial fall Scentsy haul. I don't personally sell Scentsy. I'm not a consultant, but my best friend Lisa Roberry does. So I purchase all of my Scentsy products from my bestie Lisa. If you don't have a consultant, I highly recommend Lisa. She's a lovely, lovely human being. But also, if you would prefer to connect with someone who is local to you, you can actually go to the main Scentsy website. You can type in your zip code and then it will spit out a bunch of consultants that are local to you. And then you can kind of weed through those and see who you maybe want to connect with. But yeah, my consultant is my best friend. So Lisa sent me my catalog when it was first released. So I looked through, found some things that appealed to me, and look who's reporting to work. If you're new here, this is Alf. He is my trusty assistant and loyal pug. So you are gonna hear him snorting in the background of this video. As always, please enjoy that free pug ASMR. And he's gonna get himself sorted in my lap here. So let's let him get settled. Anyway, I was super excited about the fall catalog. I really like Scentsy during the spring and summer, but I have to admit, my favorite time of year to shop with Scentsy is definitely the fall and winter. There are so many fall and winter fragrances that just are, they're staples in my home fragrance collection. I'm a huge fan of Scentsy wax melts personally because I find that I get a lot more life out of the fragrances in terms of how many days I can leave, you know, 2-3 cubes in one of my warmers and still like have it produce fragrance for me. I have tried vendor wax in the past, but I just don't find it to be as consistent as Scentsy or as long lasting. So anyway, I'm really excited to share these bars and these warmers with you guys. I really picked up some amazing things, especially the warmers. They looked beautiful online, but I'm telling you, they're so much prettier in person. And let's actually start there. So I'm gonna show you guys these warmers in the locations where I already placed them. I've already been using the warmers. I haven't gotten into any of these bars yet, but as soon as the boxes arrived, I unpacked the warmers and put them in their locations. So let's go ahead and go through the 3 warmers that I picked up, and then we'll meet back here, and then we're gonna start sniffing through some of these bars. So let's get into it. This is the Fall Sweet Fall Warmer, and I am telling you right now, the pictures online do not do this one any justice. It is so much prettier in person. I absolutely adore that background. Like, it's almost like a shimmering bronze finish. This is a stunner, you guys. It is an absolute stunner. Let me go ahead and turn it on so that you can see what it looks like once it's all lit up. It just really comes to life, obviously. But I decided to place this warmer where I had my mirrored rosé. If you watched my Fall Decorate With Me series, you know that originally I had the mirrored rosé warmer here. But once I saw this one, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect for the entryway. So if you missed the series, let me show you the decor on the rest of this entryway table here. So you can see there's lots of browns, lots of bronzy shades, lots of golds. And this just could not be more perfect for this location. So I'm really happy I got this one. I'm definitely going to treasure it. If you have your eye on it, I would say take the leap, go for it. It's an absolute stunner. The second warmer that I snagged was the Frosted Night plug-in warmer. And I actually found this one in the clearance section. And what really appealed to me about this one was the texture on the glass. So it has all of these like little, it looks like little beads, little bumps all over it. And it's supposed to look like, you know, a frosty evening, I guess you could say. It's so interesting in terms of the texture, But when you light this one up, it's another one that I feel like just, it comes to life, right? You've got the silhouette from the trees in the background. You've got that beautiful texture in the forefront. I think this is an absolute stunner, you guys. And I actually purchased this one just with the intention of using it as a nightlight here in my kitchen. I don't even know that I'll ever really put any bars in here because I already have 2 full-sized warmers in my kitchen. But I just thought this would be wonderful to have to turn on in the evening in case somebody comes downstairs for a glass of water. There's kind of, you know, this ambient light source to where you don't necessarily have to turn on the big light and completely wake yourself up while you're getting your glass of water. So I love this one. And listen, for like, I think I paid like $12 and some change for this. I think it's absolutely worth snagging. It's a stunner, and even if you just use it as a nightlight, I think it's absolutely worth picking up for that. So anyway, let's move on to the last warmer. The last warmer is, of course, the Pumpkin Sparkle. Listen, I am a girly girl through and through. I love me anything shiny, anything glittery, you know? I'm just immediately drawn to it. This, ooh, I'm telling you, if you also have a little bit of an addiction to sparkly things, you might want to check this one out. It is so much more beautiful, again, in person than it is in pictures. It's one that you really have to experience in person. You can kind of see a little bit of the like iridescent aspect of this warmer on camera, but I feel like it's a little bit more prominent in person. And the little tiny, it's almost like little shards of glass that you see there, they have the most gorgeous sparkle to them. Let me go ahead and turn the bulb on here so that you can see what it looks like once you light it up. It's so pretty. Listen, this one is a stunner, whether you have it lit or whether it's just sitting there unlit. It's really, really beautiful both ways. But when you light this, you just get this most interesting orange, iridescent, sparkly glow coming from this one. And if you're a pumpkin girly and you collect these pumpkin warmers, I think you might have to get this. It's, again, you see pictures of it and you're like, oh, that looks really pretty. It's not until you see it in person that you think this is like stunning. I also love that they left the top of this one really open. So you've just got this little like cage situation on the top. You're not like trapping any of the fragrance that way. And so I'm actually getting a really good performance out of this warmer as well. And this does also use a 25-watt bulb, which is definitely my favorite. So let's go ahead and get back and start sniffing through some of these delightful wax melts that I picked up. Okay, aren't those warmers absolutely stunning? I'm telling you, all 3 of them are so much more beautiful in person than they were on my computer screen. So I don't know, if you're on the fence about them, I would say I think they're worth getting. Anyway, you guys, we have a lot of bars to sniff through. There are also a couple of specific collections in this haul. So right before sitting down to film this video, I went ahead and texted Lisa to have her remind me what bars that I ordered were parts of collections versus what was a part of the catalog. So anyway, I have her answer here. So as we go through these, I'll let you know whether these are a part of a collection or whether you can just get them in the catalog. So, and as always, you can always check with your consultant if you have any questions. All right, you guys, there's quite a bit. So I've got this box here, and then I've got another bag over here, and there is a fly buzzing around this room. It's driving me nuts. I'm hoping that it doesn't fly across the front of the camera here too many times. I have the back door open still so that the dogs can come in and out. Like, this is usually like what I do in the summer, is I just leave the back door wide open, but unfortunately it does mean that a lot of flies get in here. Okay, I'm going to start grabbing these bars, and I'm just going to kind of give you some not necessarily first sniff impressions, because honestly, I already stuck my nose into pretty much all of these bars. There are some repurchases of some past favorites in here. There's also some new things. So I'm very excited, and I think that these bars are definitely going to keep me busy for a little while here. So, and we have our assistant reporting for duty. So we'll see if he wants to plop himself down in my lap, or if he's gonna settle somewhere else in the background. Okay, without further ado, let's get to it. First of all, so glad to see this one return. This is Raw Pum Plum. Now, I do have a little bit of a mix of like some holiday stuff in here. I'm already starting to get into I know. I'm already starting to get into the like mood for the holidays, and I know that makes some of you absolutely cringe. So I completely understand if you're not ready to smell holiday fragrances, but I did pop up just a couple into this haul. There's not a ton, but there are some. So this was technically a fragrance for, I would say, Christmas last year in the fall winter catalog. Raw Pum Plum is so good, you guys. I had this in my club, and then I took it out, and then immediately was like, oh, it's probably not going to come back. It's probably not. That was a regret. It's here. I'm putting it back in my club. I will not take it out again. This is so delicious. This is a very warm, cozy plum fragrance. So good. Oh, I just cannot say enough good things about it. Here we have Snowberry. Now, this is definitely, I would say, a holiday leaning fragrance, but I also think Snowberry is kind of a great fragrance for the fall as well. There is, I think it's Loganberry in here. There's a very interesting, intense, like, berry note in this one that has quite a bit of, like, some tartness to it. I really love this one, and it's one that I tend to get a lot of compliments on from guests. So this is one of those fragrances that I feel like is like a sleeper scent for Scentsy. I never really hear a lot of people like raving about this one, but it is really, really good. And if you've never tried it, I would highly suggest trying that one out. First day of fall. Okay, this one, it's so funny because I feel like with this particular fragrance, it's been around for a few years. And when it first came out, I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoy it now. I feel like my nose has really been changing a lot in recent years in terms of my scent preferences. Not in the way where things that I used to love, I'm now like meh about, but like I feel like I am embracing a wider range of fragrances actually. So I'm growing my fragrance tastes instead of like narrowing them down. And I'm not going to complain about it because I feel like now I'm open to a lot more things and I get to experience fragrances in a whole new way, and I kind of like it. But this is that interesting mix of a slightly earthy, like I feel like I smell some like cold, wet leaves in this fragrance. But I also get a certain amount of perfuminess from this one. It's just a really interesting fragrance. If you've never tried it, I think it's one of those where I would say take a chance on it just so you can experience it. It smells a lot better when it's warming than on cold sniff. So don't judge it like entirely on cold sniff. I mean, if you obviously have a massive aversion to it, then, you know, that's not the scent for you. But warm it. I'm telling you, it's so pretty. All right, Berry Apple Shortbread. Now this one is a part of the Harvest collection, I believe. Yes, Berry Apple Shortbread. Okay, this is such an interesting fragrance, you guys. I feel like the berry notes kind of overtake the apple and the shortbread in here. I can smell them in the way distance of the fragrance, but this is a lot of berry, and this actually seems more like a summertime fragrance to my nose than it does a fall scent. Or even a harvest type scent, if you will. Yeah, the berry is just so forward. I feel like I'm getting a trio of berries here. Blackberry, strawberry, and I want to say blueberry. I really think it's blueberry that I'm smelling in here. But there's also, like, in the way background, I can smell that apple. I can smell that shortbread. But they are fighting for their life back there because the berry notes just almost take over this entire scent. Not in a bad way. It is delicious, but I wish there was a little bit more shortbread. I think that would make it even more delicious. Okay, gingerbread pecan waffles. Okay, I was a little nervous about this one. I was afraid that a little bit too much of that ginger would come through, but it's really nicely balanced, you guys. You get a little bit of the nuttiness in there from the pecan. You smell that gourmand waffle note, and the gingerbread is not overpowering. This is actually really, really delicious. I was thinking that I might be blending this one with maybe another like vanilla, like either vanilla bean buttercream or sugar cookie. I don't even think that I have to do that. I think that ginger is so nicely balanced in here that I'm just gonna be able to enjoy as is. And I think I actually have maybe 2 of these. There might even be 3 of these. I just kind of had an inkling about this one. And the inkling was mostly Lisa saying, I think you're really gonna like this one. So usually if Lisa says yes, then I will be willing to order more than one at a time, but I'm also, you know, I'm trying to be mindful at the same time. Okay, cinnamon vanilla, pretty basic, but I thought this would make like a nice blender type fragrance. I wanted this one specifically to mix with some holiday tree scents. So this one is not really for use right now, but I figured this would be really great to pair with Very Snowy Spruce, which actually here is Very Snowy Spruce. I really thought these two would be amazing together, so I'll be melting these together for the holidays this year. But I love Very Snowy Spruce on its own. This is delicious. It's a very straightforward spruce. So fresh, so classic, so authentic. I love this one. I love it so much. Also, this balsam spice, this is new. This is not a part of the collection. This is new to the catalog. You guys, yum. This is the perfect balance of balsam and spice. This just makes me so excited to like bust out my Christmas trees. I know, I'm not allowed to yet. I'll be doing that in November, but smelling these holiday scents just makes me want to pack all the pumpkins away and just, let's just move right on to Christmas. I'm so excited for the holidays. Cider Mill, this is a pretty straightforward classic that has been around for a while. A delicious cider scent, so you really cannot go wrong with this one. So very excited to have at least one of those. Scary Good, this is another one that was in my club for a while, but then it just kept coming back, so I took it out of my club, and thankfully it came back again this year. I had my fingers crossed. This one reminds me a lot of pumpkin carving from Bath & Body Works. So if you are also a fan of Bath & Body Works fragrances and you like pumpkin carving, I think you're really gonna like this one. It is delicious, perfect amount of spice, kind of a deeper type of, like a deeper, richer, like pumpkin spice type of fragrance. It is yummy. Raw Pum Plum, I'm so glad this came back. I also took this out of my club and just crossed my fingers, and thankfully it's back again. This is one of those really nice like sugar plum type scents, but it's not quite as sweet. There's also a really nice gourmand note with this one. I just love this fragrance so much, and I will be putting this one in my club at the end of this holiday catalog here, because this is one of those fragrances where, like I said, I took it out and I almost instantly regretted it, but thankfully it came back, so I have another chance with it. Dutch Apple Bread. Now, this is also new to the catalog. Now, this to me smells a lot more like a classic apple pie fragrance than it does like an apple bread. But I feel like the focus here mostly is actually on like that pie filling, so that apple pie filling. You get like this really kind of rich, gooey, like, you know how when your apples like macerate in the sugar and the cinnamon and you start building like that goo, you know? Like that's what that smells like. The apple pie goo. The filling, if you will, for the apple pie. It is delicious, perfect amount of sweetness here. And it's really not a bread note. I mean, it really does smell more just like an apple pie crust. But I love it. No complaints. Okay, Brown Butter Pumpkin. This is new. I was afraid this would be a little bit too rich, a little bit too heavy for my liking with that brown butter. But it is yummy, you guys. So when you brown butter, it develops this almost like nutty, buttery fragrance. And you actually smell that in here. I also feel like I just get a touch of molasses in this one. And then there's a really beautiful pumpkin note as well. But that brown butter really adds a lot of depth, a lot of richness, just a lot of yumminess to this fragrance. It is good. This is worth trying. That is absolutely delicious. Caramel apple craze. Okay, this basically smells like a caramel apple. It is straightforward. It is delicious. It's also a great transitional fragrance, so I've kind of missed it, so popped one of those in. Sparkling spiced citrus. I know there's at least 2 of these in here. There could be another one in here. There sure is. Okay, is this a part of a collection? I feel like this one was. Yes, it is part of the Harvest collection, but I want this one for the holidays, you guys. Specifically, I want this one for around Christmas time. Y'all know how I feel about a good orange pomander. This is not a straight up pomander fragrance, but I love the citrus that's in here. So fresh, so juicy, so sweet. If I can find a bar that has a good healthy dose of clove, if I blended that with this, it would almost be like the perfect pomander. But I do like the spice notes that are included in here to begin with. This is just really beautiful, and like I said, it's a part of the Harvest collection, so if you're interested, that's where this one comes from. It's good. I'm gonna put that in my club. That's an immediate. Okay. Gingerbread pecan waffles. Okay, did we already talk about this one? Yes, we did. Never mind. That's a second one. Winterberry apple tea. She is a staple. Both Lisa and I have recommended this one in our like recommendations videos that we do for every season. I really like this one around the holidays. I think Lisa really likes this one around the fall, but I will also warm this one in the fall. It's a really lovely, kind of plummy, spicy tea type fragrance. It is so good. If you've never tried this one, first of all, what's your problem? It's so good. Put it in your cart. But I'm telling you, see, if you're afraid of it, ask for a sample from your consultant. It is so, so good. I love that one. Cranberry and cardamom. I do love me a cranberry. This is not my favorite cranberry from Scentsy. That is definitely cranberry garland. But you know what? This is lovely. This is kind of a sweeter, slightly almost, there's something slightly powdery about this cranberry note in here, but it is lovely. It is really nice. And I do like the cardamom that's in this one. So it is delicious, but I really wish that I could just get cranberry garland back. That's a regret for sure. That is a massive regret. Okay, here we have white peach and cranberry. This is new. This is so interesting. I was really hoping this would be more cranberry than peach, but this is a very sweet, very like midsummer peach with like a splash of like a cranberry cocktail, if you will. Yummy, don't get me wrong, but I almost want to save this for like next summer. Like that's how summery this smells to my nose. That being said, it is delicious. So there's that. Berry apple shortbread we have already discussed, so that's a second. Honeycrisp Harvest, I believe, have we discussed? Nope, because there's 2 in here. I love Honeycrisp Harvest. This is my favorite apple. I've gone through a lot of apple fragrances that I've also enjoyed from Scentsy, but I feel like I'm gonna land on this. This is my apple from Scentsy. This smells like, it smells exactly like you sliced a Honeycrisp apple in half and then just stuck your nose in it. It has that intense Honeycrisp sweetness. And it's so crisp smelling. Like it's hard to explain just how fresh and juicy and crisp this apple smells. I get like maybe a hint of like an apple blossom in here as well, but it is predominantly delicious apple. And I honestly cannot say enough good things about this. All right, Autumn Sunset. This is kind of an interesting one. It's a little masculine smelling. And there's a definite spice in here. I feel like there's might be a lot of clove in this one. I don't know what it is. I was just oddly drawn to it when I read through the description. Now, I know I've also had this one in the past, but it wasn't one that really like stuck out to me. But I remember reading through the description and I kept putting it in my cart and then I'd take it out. And finally I was like, just freaking leave it in the cart. Just enjoy it. And I think I'm going to. I think it smells a little bit more masculine. I think this is going to be like a bedroom fragrance for me, but it's interesting. I do love the color of this wax though. Now let's move over to this one over here. Okay, okay. These I think are mostly the different collections, I want to say. So bear with me. I'm just gonna grab and just double check as I go down. This is the Pistachio Woods, and this is actually not in any of these collections. Okay, so there are a few here that are not a part of the collection. So Pistachio Woods is in the regular catalog. And this is so fascinating because I do get a kind of creamy woodiness from this one, but I also get a very distinct pistachio like nuttiness as well. A very creamy pistachio. I don't know how I feel about this one. There's an odd sweetness to it that for whatever reason smells kind of cloying to my nose. Even though it's not like overly sweet, just something about that. Maybe it's the like creamy woody note that I'm smelling that maybe is just turning me a little bit off from it. I think this is one where I'm gonna have to warm it to really form an opinion on it, but it definitely intrigued me. Okay, Spiced and Spirited. This is a part of, it's not a part of, no it is. It's part of the Goody Goodness collection. Here we go. I knew it was a part of a collection. All right. Okay, just kind of, you know what it smells like? It smells like your grandma's spice cupboard. I swear this smells like my Grandma Betty's spice cupboard. It's like all of the spices combine and it just smells like this generic spiciness. It's so funny. I also get just the tiniest hint of like a curry note in this one, which is very interesting. I'm hoping that curry note goes away, but it mostly smells like sweet fall spices with a touch of curry on cold sniff. I really hope that curry goes away. Tell me the curry goes away if you have this one. Okay, Hollow Harvest. This is a part of the Goody Goodness collection as well. Ooh, okay. Did I miss sniffing this one? Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, I like that. There's a woodiness. There's a perfuminess. There's a, like an interesting powderiness to this one. This smells like a very expensive, like men's cologne, but a very, not a super aggressive men's cologne. Oh, I like that. I think I ordered 2 sets of that. I hope I did. If not, we gotta get some more of that because that's good. Oh, look what has returned. Sanderson Sisters Perfectly Wicked. This smells like Tom Ford Lost Cherry. I already have a bunch of these because I had this in my club for a very long time. I finally took it out of my club, but I still have a lot of bars yet left, and thankfully it's back again. If you like Tom Ford Lost Cherry, this is it, but in home fragrance format. Here's another gingerbread pecan waffles. I like it a lot. Another berry apple shortbread. I think I ordered a couple of these collections. Pumpkin roll, delicious. Always a staple. A little light, but so delicious. It really does smell like a pumpkin roll. It smells like a pastry. It smells so good. Spooky but sweet. Okay. I was really hopeful for this one, but you know what? The caramel is really intense in this one. It's really intense on cold sniff. So I am going to attempt to mix this with something else. I'm gonna mix this with a basic vanilla, probably vanilla bean buttercream. I'm hoping it tones some of that caramel down, but I didn't expect this to be quite as intense on the caramel. So this one's a little iffy for me. Hey Rides, okay, this is part of the Harvest collection. No, it's not a part of either collection. Sorry, this is from the catalog. I suddenly remember that now too. Okay. I get a good healthy dose of apple from this, but I also smell almost like a sunflower type note as well. And a little bit of like an earthiness too. I like this one. I didn't think that I would, but I actually did really end up liking this one on cold sniff anyway. Pumpkin Sticky Bun. Pumpkin Sticky Bun is part of the Goody Goodness collection. So, oh good. Oh, perfect gourmand. Perfect fall gourmand. Not overly sweet. Almost like a brown sugary type of pumpkin scent. Yeah, it smells more like brown sugar. Like there's like just a tiny touch of molasses to this one. Oh, this one just makes me happy. That smells delicious. Yeah, there's definitely some Cinnabon vibes here as well. Definite like brown sugar though. That's really good. I like that one. Okay, Vanilla Amber. Very perfumey vanilla, for sure. I was hoping that the amber would be a little bit more of like a warm, like super resinous amber. It's a little bit lighter amber and it also smells a touch powdery on cold sniff. I'm very curious to see how this one transforms. I feel like this is going to be a good bedroom scent for me. So that one's probably heading upstairs. Apple Spice Season is not a part of the collection. No, either collection. So, apple cider. This smells like apple cider. That's what this smells like. It's really good. Straightforward, delicious, good. I promise you we're coming to the end here. Let me see. Oh man. I didn't realize how ham I really went here. Sorry guys. Okay. Leaves and Lavender. Okay. Listen, I don't like this one. I'm gonna be passing this one along. I thought maybe, but you know, I just don't like lavender. And that is what I think I have to finally come to terms with, is that I just don't like lavender. So I do think my mom's gonna like this one. So I'm gonna bring this one up to my mama. Berry Good Pumpkin is a part of the Goody Goodness collection. And this one is yummy. Ah, that's really lovely. A little bit of a spice to this one, but mostly just like a sweet pumpkin with a hint of like maybe a blackberry. There's a definite sweet berry note. It's not super distinct, but it's very pleasant. It's a very pleasant scent on cold sniff. Cinnamon Woods. This is another one where I wasn't entirely sure, but I figured if I didn't like it, it's the type of scent that my mom would probably like. And I think I'm gonna try this one. Before I like take it up north, I think I'm gonna try this one. I'll try like 1 cube, see how I feel about it. But it is nice. It's not an overly spicy cinnamon. I was afraid that it would be like the red hot cinnamon, and it's really not. So it's that pleasant cinnamon that is enjoyable for me, but the woodiness is a little strange, I will admit. Brown Butter Pumpkin, we've already talked about. Peaks and Pines, now this is a part of a collection, And this is a part of the Harvest collection. So Peaks and Pines is a very fresh, outdoorsy, like crisp fall air type of fragrance. It's leaning a little fresh to my nose, but I also thought maybe this could be a good bathroom fragrance for the fall months. I don't know. It might be a little too fresh for me, but we'll see. Cherry Chestnut. I gotta say, so I had the scratch and sniff sticker that Lisa sent my way for this one. I wasn't 100% sold on it, but I also was kind of intrigued by it at the same time. I felt like I wasn't getting quite enough from the scratch and sniff sticker, so I figured it's worth actually smelling the entire bar. And I think I like it a lot more now. There's a definite chestnut note in here, and there's a definite cherry note. And the cherry note actually reminds me of the same cherry note that's in these Sanderson sisters. Oh, my camera's dying. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. I saw the flashing battery in the corner, and that means I have like a matter of seconds before I get cut off. So we have a fresh battery and only a few more bars here. So let's finish this up. Okay, Vanilla Barnwood. This is returning to the catalog. This is a very soft, very, very light, musky vanilla fragrance. It's not one of those scents that I would wholeheartedly recommend if you're looking for a real powerhouse from Scentsy. But this makes a really soft, beautiful background fragrance, maybe in a bedroom situation. It's one of those like bars where like I don't find myself like thinking about it too often, but if I happen to come across it in my collection and I'm wanting something that's just really light and soft and beautiful, like it's an instant grab for me. So it's a nice one just to have on hand for sure. This is Alpine Escape, and this is new to the catalog. Now, I was a little nervous about this one because I thought it might be a touch too fresh, and I have to admit, it's very fresh. It's got some holiday tree notes to it for sure, but there's also a healthy dose of like an outdoorsy, like peppermint, eucalyptusy type of vibe to this one. And I don't love that portion of the fragrance. I'm not huge on minty fragrances, be it spearmint or peppermint. I typically don't like eucalyptus. I'm not a huge fan of fresh fragrances, but I thought it was worth giving it a chance, but I'm not sure that it's gonna be my favorite. I will say, however, I found another balsam spice, and I'm glad that I ended up with at least a couple of these, because if I had to choose between this balsam spice and this Alpine Escape in terms of holiday tree fragrances to warm, this balsam spice would win hands down. This is delightful, but I feel like the Alpine Escape is just a little maybe too fresh for my liking. Okay, we have another white peach and cranberry, and then the other balsam and spice. So, whew, man, that was a lot. I will talk a lot more in depth about the fragrance notes as I am warming these, so follow me for the weekly home fragrance roundup. You guys will see me starting to incorporate a lot of these bars here in the next couple of weeks, because I'm definitely running a little bit low on fall fragrances in my like backup collection. So I'm glad to have these. I'm gonna go organize these in my little oh, there's Penny. Oh, Penny rarely pops into videos these days. I feel like this is a special moment. Hi, Penny. How are you? Oh my gosh. When was the last time you guys saw Penny? Everyone say hi to Penelope. She is my spicy meatball. She looks like a very sweet, innocent girl, doesn't she? This is the naughtiest pug that you will ever meet in your life, and I'm not even exaggerating. She is very, very naughty. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to head upstairs and organize all of these in my little Scentsy situation that I have. I have a storage cabinet just for Scentsy, so I'm going to take those up there, get them all organized. Let me know what you picked up so far from the fall catalog. Let me know if you got any of the warmers that I did, and leave your glowing reviews about them in the comments down below as well. I really appreciate you guys being here. Stay tuned for Lisa and my collab towards the end of this month. And I just appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.